Yeah, I'm Drew Ungvarsky. I am the co-founder and CEO of Assembly, the project you'll be touring today. I'm also the founder and CEO of Grow. Grow is, and people often, I think, know me more from that project than Assembly. Grow is a digital agency headquartered here in Norfolk. We create digital experiences, innovative digital experiences for global brands, helping them engage their audiences in unique and lovable ways. So it's a team of creatives and developers and strategists, producers, all kind of coming together, making amazing things for brands around the world. Assembly, the project you're touring today, is a multi-building office campus that is going to bring together leading creative and technology companies, all sharing a bunch of common areas to inspire them, and selected amenities that we think will empower those companies to go a bit further faster. Architecturally, it's an adaptive reuse of 3 historic department store buildings, totaling about 100,000 square feet. We're doing the project in 2 phases. The first phase is the Ames and Brownlee department store building at 400 Granby Street, just over 50,000 square feet when it's done. And then the second phase are the 2 Sears and Roebuck buildings that wrap around Freemason to Monticello, and those are another 50,000 square feet. And then the relationship between the 2 companies, Grow really took a leading role in launching this idea. I mean, it was something we were thinking about as we were trying to figure out our own expansion plans, and thinking, okay, well, maybe there's a way to to benefit not just the growth of this company, but a bunch of other exciting companies around the region. We helped shape the vision for the project, and then have really lent a lot in the way of staff and financial support to getting the project off the ground. But now Assembly is its own company, will run forward operating on its own. And Grow is going to be one of the major tenants within Assembly. Why do this project? We, in so many ways, are trying to create a front door for creativity and innovation here in Hampton Roads. This region has a bunch of amazing creative and technology companies, but we really lacked a center of mass. And as a result, there are many in this region who don't even know of all the amazing companies that are here, let alone nationally or internationally. And so, creating, we think, a flagship project where those companies can come together and rise together in so many ways, we think will help bring visibility to those companies. And also, we're thinking in so many ways about how can the building program itself help those companies thrive. Part of that, of course, is creating the strong sense of community that those companies and the employees therein need to thrive, creating collaboration opportunities between those companies. But physically, we can also share certain spaces. So Assembly, we don't think of as it's certainly not a traditional co-working project, nor is it a traditional office project. It's somewhere in the middle. We are combining a bunch of different tenants, all of which will have their own office spaces, but they'll share common areas, and they'll share selected amenities. There is a small area within the building dedicated to true co-working, intended to support freelancers and smaller companies or remote workers. But the vast majority of the building is actually going to be office spaces that range from as small as 700 square foot sort of move-in ready suite spaces up to 10,000 square foot full floors. Several of the tenants are doing kind of full custom build outs of their spaces. So first phase is 50,000 square feet. As you come in, you'll see there's kind of a huge common area. It's really intended to be the primary social space to connect all of the community, both inside the building and out. We'll be regularly programming the building with different events and inviting the community into the space. There is a central atrium that cuts through the middle of the building up to a skylight that, there's no shortage of natural light in this building, from the historic windows to some of the new windows we added in this skylight. The atrium is where the old grand stair from the historic department store was, and we were fortunate to be able to add that back. And there's also a retail space in the front of the building, and we really intend that as a connection to the broader community. So we want that to be both an amenity for the tenants, somewhere they can go every day to grab a coffee or a lunch, but also to bring as many people into the building regularly and see all the inspiring work that's happening in there. And the last thing of note, and really kind of the other major program of the first phase here, is that there's over 15,000 square feet of shared common areas and amenities. So this ranges from the living room I was just talking about. There's the rooftop deck and event space. There is a boardroom. There are a number of shared meeting rooms, a podcast room, a mother's room, a bike share and storage and service area. There's a couple showers. There's even a common library amongst all of the tenants. And again, the thinking there was like, so many of these amenities are the ones that just don't make sense for small businesses to build on their own. We love and need those amenities to inspire our teams, but they're incredibly expensive to build, and they're not very space efficient for a company to create a 20-person boardroom that they're only going to use 2 or 3 times a month. And so we thought those would be great amenities to share amongst a broader set of companies. Well, I'm a strong believer in the idea that in order for this region to thrive, Norfolk needs to thrive, and in order for Norfolk to thrive, downtown has to thrive. And I think that explains sort of why and how Grow and I and a bunch of others have put a lot of energy into shaping the downtown to the place that we're excited about working and enjoying, sort of as a culture destination. Grow's been downtown for the better part of its history, and so we went, as we're thinking about, okay, we're going to expand, and maybe we're going to move to a different building and try this assembly project. The 2 main drivers in terms of building selection were, it needed to be big enough to pull this off. How could we and a bunch of other tenants go into a space together? We were thinking of it as 40, maybe 50,000 square feet. And the second one was that we really wanted it to have history. We think that one of downtown's greatest strengths is all of the history there. I'm definitely a sucker for historic buildings, and having done now a couple of historic renovation projects. They are love, hate, but mostly love, or I think you hate them by the end, and then you love them again and do it once more. And so this one was definitely ambitious. Grow's building is just under 10,000 square feet, and again with this one coming up on just over 100,000 square feet, quite ambitious for us. But we thought we love the character of the building. We love the story of the department stores. Right before it became Ames and Brownlee Department Store, was actually owned by a guy, the builder, Fergus Reed, who built it as sort of a multi-tenant marketplace, and we loved that idea. We loved what department stores meant to communities throughout the century here as kind of a destination gathering space. Even as we found old ads for the department stores, they sounded like they were talking about what we are trying to do, like, come together, enjoy the day together. And we just loved that concept. And so, and then when we started to dig under, what was a 80s era renovation of the building, we could see that the history was still there. The floors and the ceilings, and of course the exterior shell was in really great shape, and we thought it would make for a great campus. Things that were scary to us early on certainly started with the scale. 100,000 square feet is massive. I had never been in a boiler room before, so I'm not used to seeing mechanical equipment that is as big as my house, and I thought that was Yeah, so it was a little daunting. We bought the building from the city. City of Norfolk was really a great, I think, partner to us in helping see this vision to life and figuring out how they could move out of the building and sell it to us to support this vision. So that was a whole process to navigate and definitely harrowing at times, but we did make it through that. And then, certainly like just knowing that the community would embrace it. And we believed in this concept and believed it was necessary and believed it would help not just grow, but a bunch of other amazing companies. But it didn't matter if they weren't willing to come on that journey with us. And so before we launched it, we talked to a couple of fellow creative and technology companies and ran the concept by them, got a lot of positive feedback, got a lot of constructive feedback, and then asked several of them is if this is something that we would go about doing. Would you entertain being in the building? And fortunately for some of them, the answer was yes. So WPA, our amazing architect on the project who's leading this tour, was one of the first companies to raise their hand and say, yeah, we believe in this vision and we love the idea for the building. We'd love to help you make it and become a tenant in it. And then, since that time, we've had just an incredible amount and quality of companies joining us in the building. You'll see all their spaces today, but everything from REO, an augmented reality technology company, to Have a Good Day, a branding studio and design company. One of the other tenants we're really excited about is 757 Startup Studios. They're on the first floor. And they're one of the, it's really the region's first true significant startup presence. It's bringing together 757 Angels, the 757 Accelerate program, and a bunch of other startup resources and creating a physical space generously supported by several corporate sponsors to help more technology companies, more startups come out of this region. And we also have the Rise Resilience group in the building as well, another entity that's creating a bunch of tomorrow's companies for the region. So we're just super thrilled to have seen the community embrace the concept and a bunch of other really exciting companies join us in the vision. We very much do intend assembly as a catalyst project, building on what's already been happening in downtown, the city, and in the region. But we hope and expect to see more in the way of exciting companies coming here, more in the way of development in and around the Assembly campus. One of the main reasons we're choosing to foster creative and technology companies is that we think that those are the companies that are going to shape this city, both professionally. Companies like WPA. We're fortunate that the city, has hired them as for the urban design contract and some of these other efforts where they're getting to spend their time and efforts shaping the city. But these are also the companies and types of people who like to think as passion projects for how they can shape their communities and how they can create the world around them. And so that's why we're so excited to have just a building full of those people, several buildings full of those people, and looking forward to seeing what comes of it. For us, we needed a contractor capable of the scale of this project, the complexity of this project, and the historic nature. This is a historic tax credit project. We very much need it to be done correctly. We can't afford to, err in our reshaping of this building. So finding a general contractor we felt like met all those criteria. Clancy checked those boxes for us. Yeah, well, so we interviewed several architects for the project to make sure we had the right fit, and we definitely found that partner in WPA. For us, it was a couple of things with WPA. I mean, first, they shared a compelling vision for the building that aligned with ours. I mean, they took what we said we wanted, and they showed us some initial thinking on how that could come to life, and we thought they really understood the vision and they understood the building. But yeah, WPA has a exceptional history and just a really exciting energy around contribution to this city. I think that the company, especially Tom and Mel at the forefront, are doing amazing things for this city. And we knew that they got what we were trying to accomplish, and we're putting their time and their money and their resources into these same types of ideas every day. And so they made a natural fit for not just a partner, but an eventual neighbor in the building.